Usually they're on the headphones. That's why.
It's all right though. Yep.
Okay.
And we're on, right?
Yep. Money making money.
Right.
Back again.
All right. So today our special guest is Corey Geary with Tru Top Offer.
Yep. Tru Top Offer.
You guys closed 80 deals last year.
That's about right. Yep.
Right. And also last year, you ended up quitting your
full-time job.
Full-time job. To actually let go of that leash, right?
That was a tough leap of faith there.
Right, exactly.
But do you regret it, or is the best
thing?
No,
it was the best thing I did because I was so time cramped. You know what I mean? I was working at the blackjack dealer. Here at Wild Horse Pass here in Phoenix. And, all night long I was dealing cards, and I'd get off at 4 in the morning, and then I was getting up at, 8 or 9, and I was doing the real estate thing. It was killing me. Yeah, I mean, no sleep ever. So it was rough. And I did that for about a year. I mean, it was like just going like that. So
that's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's been a blessing to be out of there and just actually sleep.
So this is the Money Making Money podcast, right? So on the show, what we do is we're going to ask you a little bit about your history, right? How you got into real estate, what started you into the ventures of what you're doing now, and the experience behind that, right? So so tell us how'd you get into real estate? What was the first thing that did and piqued your interest?
Okay, it's kind of cheesy. It was just watching Flip or Flop on HGTV back. It was a good show, and I used to watch it with my girlfriend, and I was dealing cards. I was making pretty good money there dealing cards. I was making about 120, 140 grand a year, so it was a good job for. No college education, and it was just easy to do, right? So, I was saving some money up, and then he was like, always like, what am I going to do with this money kind of thing? And then my girlfriend, we're watching Flip or Flop one night, and she's a realtor. She's like, why don't you just go flip a house so I can list it? I'm like, maybe I should go flip a house. And so literally, I think it was the next day, I'm running around my neighborhood because I love to run. And net worth, you see all over our city, they put those signs in the ground, fix or flip, and they put the ARV and the buy price. And so I call on it, and sure enough, they had a deal out in Sun Lakes, and I went out there and I bought it.
He has no idea where Sun Lakes is at.
Oh, I just recently found out.
You just recently find out.
I call it South Chandler or
it
Chandler
is
Heights.
South Chandler where it gets a 55 plus. That's right. And I bought that, and it took me 6 months to remodel it, and I took a big portion of my 401k money out, my savings. I was about $130,000 deep on it, and in 6 months, and I made $8,000. I made $8,000 profit after all the dust was cleared and all said and done after 6 months. So I was like, oh wow.
So when you bought it all cash?
No, we used a little bit of hard money, but it was like the remodeling, and I can't remember. I don't remember all the details of the deal, but there was some hard money on it, and I think maybe it was 50% to ARV was the hard money. I mean, I didn't know lenders then. I didn't know anything. I really didn't know anything about the business, except for my girlfriend's like, yeah, we could probably get this for it because she was a realtor after you're done, and then okay, and so. That was my very first experience with real estate.
Did she charge you commissions?
1%, and it was like, yes. I mean, of course, she gave me a bunch of crap about it all the time. List your deal for 1%. I'm like,
she's holding it over your head now.
Yeah, well, she's my ex now, so I can talk all the shit I want.
Right on. Okay, and so then you did that for a while, and
I did a few of those. Met some, started going to some events out here. Started networking a little bit. Met Chris Iman. Started buying some deals from him, and did good on a few. And then a partner came in. It's right around that partner came in. I was like, okay, well let's try to go, a little bit bigger. And we bought 4 at a time. It was all at once. And then at the same time, we had lost our old contractor who was doing jobs for us, and he was pretty decent. And he was slow, but at least he got the job done. And he would not he wouldn't take our money. And that's what happened on our next deals, as we trusted somebody and we gave him way too much money up front, and he ended up screwing us.
On all 4 of them? Or?
Pretty much, yeah. So we lost some money. We ended up finishing out 2 of them, and we lost 2. But we did finish out 2 of them and still lost money on them, just not as much. But it was a bad experience. And then So, I got my teeth kicked in a little bit there, and I learned a few lessons. I learned how to, how to manage contractors a little better, how to, the whole trust issue. Now with contractors, I pay as I go, and we get contracts in writing, and, there's, there's consequences if you don't, if you're not done on time and stuff like that. So it's a lot different now. But then, I was new, literally, and I was working my job. So it's like, he was just telling us, every week, this is getting done. Can I get this much? Like, okay. And we were just suckers. We were just the new guys, and he took advantage of us. And so,
for someone that is starting out new in fixing, flipping, or wholesaling, things like that, do you have any advice on how you would handle a contractor?
Absolutely. So do your due diligence on that contractor, right?
Okay,
check into his license, see if he's insured, what's the board they have here for contractors, the general contractors?
I don't know.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They have to have a number, and you can any register of contractors.
Yeah,
ROC.
The ROC.
There we go. And you can call them, find out their number, and call and see if there's any complaints against them. If there's anything, you just got to do your due diligence. Ask around, and ask people who have used them before, right? And you take referrals. Just don't pick some guy just randomly who, at some event that says, I'm a contractor. I'll, ask around, find out who you've done work for. And that's the biggest thing. Just find out if they're actually real.
I have a good question. Like now on that you have experience on that on contractors. Let's say there's a delay in when they said they were going to do the job. Even though, do you take into consideration situation that pop up, or it doesn't matter?
No, of course. We're all humans, right?
Yeah, correct.
We got to work with them, right? We're not going to bust our balls. If another problem came up that we didn't foresee,
correct.
Then of course no. Then there's not going to be no late fees or whatever called. So it's
okay.
Liquidated damages, as they call it. LDs is what they call it.
Okay.
There's no liquidated damages for time. If it's something pops up. But if they're just taking on too many jobs and their 1.5 month quote turned into a 4 month job, it's because they're spreading themselves too thin, which you see all the time with contractors. Then there's got to be some kind of repercussion for that. So.
And if you don't mind me asking, what kind of repercussion do you? That's something that I've been thinking about.
That you put on the
contract.
On the contract, you do maybe $50 a day per diem or something like that.
After the day.
After the day, right.
Wow. Okay,
right. To really give them the incentive, and you explain to them too, like, understand this is just what's in the actual bid. If obviously, like you said, if there's change orders that come in, that's gotta you gotta correct your time for that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Cool.
Is there something that when you first started that you're doing now that you wish you would have done with a contractor?
With all that, do my due diligence on them. And the guy who took us, I didn't do any of that. It was just he came up to us and was like, "Hey, I met him," and he says, you just don't know, right? You just
trusted in a handshake, right?
You're gullible, and you're so gun ho about the business because I already had done a couple of deals, right? So I'm like, okay, I want to do this, and I want to expand and grow and scale, and then it backfired. So it was a learning experience, but. And the partner I had at the time it's funny because he ended up getting out of the business because of that. So he came in right before that situation happened, and that situation happened, and then now he's still doing blackjack.
Right.
But
so then from the lesson so then you did the 4 fix and flips. You guys got out of them, lost a little bit of money, broke even, right, more or less.
Lost.
Okay, so lost.
I wish like I say.
Right. So then now, lesson learned, right? So what was the next step? What happened after that?
So it was a kick in the teeth, and and at that point, it's like I want to know how these wholesalers get their deals. I want to know how to get direct to seller and figure out how to, that way I could fuel my fix and flip business and get bigger discounts, and then maybe even start learning how to do what they do and make money in that part of the business. And so I diligently really started researching and going out to events and talking to people and really networking and figuring out how this works. I signed up for Sean Terry's little Flip to Freedom. He had the online course and then the actual thing that he does live, and then I did both of those, and then that was kind of start of that venture. Which,
cool. And you also have your real estate license, right?
Yeah, I got my real estate license. The main reason is for my flipping business. That way I can just list my houses,
Yep.
you know, and not have to worry about finding the realtor who will do it for 1%. Because after me and my girlfriend broke up, I was like, all right.
Lesson learned.
Right. And that was one of the things she said to me. I will never list one of your flips. I was like, okay, I'll just go get my license.
Yeah.
And I did. So I was like, yeah. So. And
That's pretty cool.
And it comes handy now, man. I mean, I think in any wholesale business, there should be at least one person in there who's licensed. If you're a solopreneur, maybe you should be licensed.
Yep.
But it comes in, handy.
Agree.
It's great,
Right.
and I've learned so much from being licensed and how the contracts work. You know,
Yep.
you're just doing retail. Did a little bit of retail. I don't like it. But you learn a lot from it, you know, and how title process works. You know, and having MLS access and doing the comps and
doing the comps is
it's
invaluable.
huge. Having access to the AAR contracts. You know, we just today we locked up 2 off-market deals, but there was a realtor who brought us the deals, and they wouldn't accept anything else but an AAR. So I mean, you don't have to be licensed, but you get to know somebody who is licensed or because those are exclusive for people who are licensed. So.
Right.
And so we were sending 2 AARs. I still have an inspection period. I still have everything else. I mean, it's the same, but it's
an AAR contract.
It's just an AAR. So being licensed has been great for our business. So.
It's so funny that when you talk to sellers, some people just like, I just want a 2-page contract, and then there's other sellers that are like, no, I want that. I want an absolute lock solid AAR contract.
Absolutely. And if everyone knows AAR, it's the Associations of Realtor Contracts, Arizona Association of Realtor Contracts. So people out of state would be like, what's an AAR?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I just call it a purchase contract. I'm a licensed real estate agent.
Okay.
So is him. Yeah. So definitely it's been an advantage for us.
I'm the only one that's not licensed in this room.
Yeah, and it's probably good to have in the business someone who's not. I mean, like when we were doing direct mail, we're not doing it right now.
But you started with direct mail, right?
We did start with direct mail. Right. Yeah, I'd put it under my assistant's name because she wasn't licensed. Because otherwise, you got to do all the disclosures. And so I was having her do it. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's got its advantage and
there's a disadvantage to it too, but I definitely think the advantages weigh out the disadvantages.
I agree.
You just have someone in your company who's not licensed, someone in the company that's licensed, and it's a perfect marriage.
Right. Yeah. Right. So then, when you were doing direct mail, so you started off with that, and what were some of the challenges that you got on that, and what were some of the successes that you had?
The challenge, I mean, when we started doing direct mail, it probably took us about, I want to say 7 to 9 months to land our first real direct-to-seller deal.
Okay.
So that was a challenge because we were just kind of, I was just dumping money out, you know, and it wasn't like a crazy amount. I didn't jump right in and start spending $40,000 a month in direct mail. Some of the big players here, that's what they spend, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's, but you know, we were spending. I mean, probably anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, you know, and you know, going to a lot of appointments, and now is the other process too, right? Is I didn't come from a sales background, so I'm learning how to talk to people and how to close deals, and then taking all these, you know, online seminars and courses like the John Martinez course, which is great, especially right in the beginning of trying to learn how to do this business and talking to sellers. And so that was a learning curve too for me. But the only way you can get over it is by going and doing it and being a student of it, and you will learn and you will start closing more deals. But that was a huge barrier we had to get over first.
So and then after you started seeing the direct mail, right? So you started doing that. After what snapped, right? What changed? What happened where your business, where you could say, you know what, my business took off?
Oh, okay. So the direct mail, the cost per lead got so high, and this is where you got to track your numbers. You got to know KPIs, right? You got to know what it's costing you to bring in those leads in, and what it's costing you per deal, right? And direct mail was getting really costly, and we're in a competitive market here, you know, a little bit, just a little bit. You know? This is the guru capital of the United States. It is, man, and everyone wants to be a guru here. Jesus, there's a new one popping up every single year, or 2 or 3 or 10.
Yeah.
The cost was just getting so high, and so we switched over to cold calling. And that was kind of the very beginning of it. And we were when we first started cold calling, we were doing about 2 deals a month or so, 2 or 3. I studied a little bit under Justin Colby. He was doing the same thing. He was switching over to a lot of cold calling. I think him and Chris Iman at the time had a call center together. And then I got with Jamil. Jamil came and put me under his wing, and he's an absolutely amazing individual. I love the guy, so huge shouts out to Jamil and Keegley. And he came over to my house, and he would help train my callers and to kind of teach me how to structure deals. And, he was just like, hey, and he didn't make me sign no contract. He said, hey, but if you want to sell these, think about us and send deals away. And I did, in the especially in the time when he was, training me and training us, I was sending him all of our deals. So, hey, and it was a successful marriage there for a while. It worked out really well as well as trying to, grow, especially in the struggles that, when you're trying to make some money and you're going through the ebbs and flows, and it's just like, one month.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, last year, my bank account, at the beginning of the year, I think the bank account hit 0 3 times. It was scary there for a while, but so that was the first step, and then the next one is who is my current mentor still is Joe Dillon. Joe Dillon, and he's been absolutely amazing in my business, and just as far as systems, I am horrible at systems. I'm a run and gun and create a mess kind of guy. I just want to, put money out and see money come back. That's how my mind is. It's the whole visionary kind of thing, and I'm not an integrator.
Blackjack mentality, right?
Right. I just exactly quick. I want to just go right. Yeah. Let's just go. Let's run and see what happens. And so Joe Dillon, I don't know if anyone knows this, but he was ex-partners with Rafael Vargas, and in their business, he was the main integrator and growing their business. So he's an excellent, integrator. And his systems and processes are amazing. So, we got his Podio. He taught us how to do the RVM the correct way. He taught us how to, structure the cold calling a different way. There's a lot, and structured text broadcasting too. And he even came to the office, and he went through our whole business and told me where I need to be pouring the gas on more and taking the gas off. And he just really
that's outstanding.
Who is this again? Joe Dillon?
Joe Dillon.
Okay.
He'll be back in my office again in February. Yeah, so he'll be out, and he comes out and he stays like 12, 13 hours, and it's a whole day of just tearing my business apart and telling me what I need to do differently, and it's been awesome.
That's freaking awesome, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, he's a good mentor. So, and I think our mentorship's up in March. So like February he comes, and then March we're up, and then
but how convenient he comes in February, right before.
Yeah. Do you want to sign up for another year? You want another year, bro?
Right, exactly. Yeah, help your business go from here to here.
Yeah, he points it out too. And as he should, right? As he should. So
that's awesome.
And that's something I definitely believe that's huge in mentorships and masterminds. I was also part of boardroom for. It was a good year. Yeah, it was 1 year boardroom, but that's with Sean Terry and Kent Clothier and Justin Colby and their mastermind.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. I might be mistaken here, but I think some of them broke up, so it's not the same anymore. But it was those three guys when we were in it, and man, it was awesome. Having Sean Terry critique our business too when we were going there was excellent.
That's good, man. That's really good.
Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot. Like mentorship is like a lot of people are preaching it. Like get a mentor. Yeah. Do some type of mentor.
They've made the mistakes already.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean? And I'm good at making mistakes, I promise. So anything that you've done, just let me know. That way I don't do it. You know what I mean? Because I probably will do it. That's the thing. So, I'll always at least be one or the other, at least a mentor or a mastermind, right? At least have one or the other going on.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you want to be around like-minded people all the time. That's why I love going to the events, you know, and meeting people like you guys. You know, and talking shop and just, figure out what you're doing, what I'm doing, and, you learn and grow off that.
Yep.
So, and sometimes you do deals together.
It's like how Pace and them say, we can grow in Jamil and Pace, go together instead of, being individual. Yeah, exactly. Let's grow together. Yeah,
grow together, all as one. I mean,
yep. There's enough for everybody, man. There's enough for everybody.
There is. It's the abundance mentality and the scarcity mentality.
Yep.
And we're, like I've pointed out several times, like we are blessed to have this network here in Arizona, even though it is the guru capital of the world, right? Still, we still help each other out with a lot of different deals, and
absolutely. And if you want to learn the business, there's no better place to really learn than here.
Yeah,
you're gonna have so many people to talk to and grow with.
Yeah, those are the Trang meetups.
Oh yeah, the Trains meetups. Yeah, the real estate disruptors meetups. I love them.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
That was his. We went Thursday. That was his first time. He just got his license not too long ago.
Go every month. It's awesome. You're always meeting new people, and And then there's people who who are doing just a crap ton of deals there too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You got everyone in between. It's
And
awesome.
new investors, new wholesalers, new everything.
Yep.
Right.
Another good one too is I've been going to is the Phoenix RIA, not the Phoenix as RIA one, but the Phoenix RIA. It's done by Chris Simon.
Chris Simon, yeah,
Okay.
that one.
And his Chris and Andy Warner, and that's a great one too.
Really?
Yeah. And same
Okay,
kind of
good.
thing. They give you free food and some drinks if you want. And the title companies probably pay for it.
Yeah, they do. Okay, it's
Yeah.
Phoenix RIA. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think it's the second to last Tuesday of every month.
Oh, yeah.
Might be
Yeah.
mistaken, but I think it's what it is. Second to last Tuesday of every
Cool.
month. But that's a good one.
All right.
So
So right now for your current business, right? What are some of the challenges that you're seeing? What is the market kind of doing for
all
you?
kinds of them. Always challenges.
Yeah, we just heard about the memorandum.
Yeah, well, that's normal. that stuff I'm numb to and used to now. That's just people fighting over deals, and you get it. Sometimes we are in a competitive market. You do have investors and wholesalers that come try to snake your deal, and if you're first to direct to seller, and you memorandum, we memorandum almost all our deals. So,
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So
almost all of
explain.
them.
So just for somebody that's brand new, explain what a memorandum would be.
Memorandum is just saying that you had the contractual rights, the binding contract with the seller. You're the first seller, and what happens is you cloud title with that. You record it. You can record it down at the recorder's office. We have it set up now. We just do it right in our office, and my assistant can do it. Scan it in, and it gets recorded.
And it gets recorded.
Yeah, it's great. But it just get clouds title, and that way, if someone were to go and try to snake your deal, maybe they offer the seller $10,000 more. Maybe they saw your blast, on your email, and they go knock the door. And there are people in our market that does this. Yeah,
Yep.
and it's horrible. And they'll go knock the door and offer the seller $10,000 more and sign a new contract. But if you got memorandum, it protects you. So when it goes to title, the title will not record and not close without you releasing the memorandum. And it's fine. We'll release them sometimes, but then there's gonna be a cost associated.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
So, exactly. And so then that's helpful, right? Because there's a lot of people that are like, oh my God, my seller just signed with somebody else for a higher price. What do I do now?
Yep.
Right.
If you would have done a memorandum, that would have taken care of that.
It takes care of the problem.
So when
Seems like it's a risk mitigation and also another income stream.
It can be, yeah. It's right, and there are some people out there, the memorandum deal, they memorandum every deal. If you're going to memorandum the deal, I would say at least you need to make sure you have the ability to close on it too.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. There are some people just memorandum everything and they just let the memorandums go and they cancel contract, but they start the memorandum. If you're canceling contract with the seller, you better get that memorandum off too. I mean, you don't want to keep cloud title because it causes so many different issues. And I've heard problems out in the wholesale world where they don't do that. And it's like, no, you need to play the game the right way.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
You need to be strategic about it, right?
Very much so. Very much so. I mean,
not just blanket everything you touch.
right. And there are people who do it. So the ones we do are like, well, you know what? I would close that deal. Memorandum it. It's a good deal. It's ethical. And then we're direct to seller. Yeah.
Keyword is what you said, ethical.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Okay, that's good to know.
But those happen. But that's not really a big hurdle. This is just something we do as part of. It's a common practice in the business. I would say our biggest hurdles right now is I lost 2 acquisition managers last week. One I let go, got fired, and the other one had to leave for health reasons. She's having a surgery and she's gonna be out for 3 months. And I was like, oh, that means you're leaving.
So I take it you're hiring, right?
We are hiring rock stars right now, and I am flooded with resumes and interviews right now. We have our ad on Indeed now, and we're pushing them through a sales funnel. They got to take a sales assessment test and all that. But yes, so if you guys want to learn the business and make a ton of money. My acquisitions, when we scaled up last year, once she's still there, she's awesome. She's a rock star. Her name's Mai, and she's amazing. In the last 6 months, she did about $60,000 in commissions.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a 6-figure seat all day long.
All day long, yep.
So, it's
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great way to get in the business, learn it and make some money. And if you're just a driver and just good at sales, It's
cool. All right, yeah. So just reach out to us if you're interested in connecting with Corey over here. So for
absolutely, thank you
for all that. All right, and so your acquisitions people are gone. So
but one, I got one still.
One, you still have one there, right? Any systems that you have like for VAs that you're working on for?
Yeah, I got 3 VAs. I got one. All she does is scrub the MLS all day long for not only, and this is a great little tidbit, not only for cash buyers who bought properties cash. This is what most people do, but the people forget about scrubbing the MLS for the people who fix and flip houses. The sellers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
These sellers, they're the ones, they're buying not only from, they're buying from wholesalers too.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're scrubbing those guys' information. So we're finding those LLCs, and then going to the corporation commissioner, find out who the managing member is, and then skip trace. So I have a VA, that's all she does.
Right. And then that's adding on to your buyer's
really
list,
good.
right?
And
So
that's
it
adding the
continue-
buyer's list.
Right.
Our buyer's list is incredible right now. We're having an amazing amounts of success with deals right now. So bring us your deals, guys.
There you go.
we get top dollar for them. So that she does that all day long. I have another VA. She does the text. She manages all the text and then picks up any bleed over from our RVM.
Okay.
Because we're answering all our RVM through the IVR system live. Okay. So the press 1, press 9. Press 1 if you want to talk to someone live. Press 9 to be removed from the list. There is some bleed over because we send about 20,000 RVMs out a day.
Wow.
Yeah, even when you have 3 acquisitions going at it, there's still some that are going to voicemail. So the VA comes in and picks up that. I've been flirting with the idea of having her answer them live, of the bleed over.
Yeah.
But we'll experiment with that.
see how that works.
Yeah. So, and then I have another VA where she does a lot of she scrubs all my list. She does all the skip tracing for me. If I need stuff moved around in my dialer, she does all that. So and then she also does my scorecard every week. So she tracks my KPIs and delivers that to me every week. Yeah, it took a lot of training with her to get her where I needed to be. And literally with me and Joe Dillon sitting with her every week and coaching and trying to teach her, and now she's been molded so well.
Wow,
and
that's pretty good.
The scorecards come in every Monday. I know what my cost per deal is, and what my cost per lead is. I know how many contracts we got. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's
That's awesome.
It's nice to have that, right? So, and especially automated, right? So,
it's automated now, right?
Now it's automated. Now.
I don't want to have to think about it because there's a good chance it might not get done.
Yeah.
Because I got so many other things I'm trying to do all at once, and it's just I'm not. I got ADD, right? It's I'm everywhere at once.
Yeah.
And it's so I need people and systems in place to take care of stuff like that. So I got 3 of them, and they're amazing, all 3 of them. And the key is you want to involve them part of your culture, right? You want to communicate with them every single day. Tell them how a good job they're doing. Talk to them. We have conversations on Facebook Messenger. You can call just like how you do on FaceTime.
Yeah.
We have conversations all the time on Facebook Messenger. And I learned a lot of that from Brian. I don't know if you know Brian. Brian Manley. He runs his whole business from a VA perspective, and it's awesome. And so just involve them part of your culture. Be involved with them in their day-to-day operations. And if the text VA brings in 10 leads from Sherpa and there was 5 more leads from RVM, I'm gonna talk to her and tell her how great of a job she's doing.
That's awesome.
She needs to know, and not just be like, "Oh, thanks."
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what every other investor's doing. So I would say it's one of the keys for the VAs.
Okay, that's good. That's really good, man. Really great information.
That's good. What else did we have for you? Now, okay. So, if somebody's brand new into the business, right? Well, day one.
Yeah. Right. Well, not day one, but close enough.
But brand new, and they're like, I need to make some money, right? What would in your opinion, what would be the best thing for them to do?
2 ways. Because either you're gonna have you got 2 ways. You're gonna have the time, or you got money.
Right.
So money you can put you buy all the marketing, and you can buy people to help you or employ people to help you. Not buy people. You can employ people to help you.
I think they've done away with that.
Right. But you have money, and then usually when you have money, you don't have a lot of time because you're working in the business or on the business. But if you have time and no money, go out door knocking. Get the driving for dollars apps. So, there's so many driving apps now these days.
They're driving for dollars.
And go out and door knock and put bandit signs out there. And I know in the Phoenix area, bandit signs don't work too well. we did experiment with them around in Apache Junction, and we did get a couple deals out there.
Really?
So,
With Bandit Signs?
Yeah, I think the outskirts of Maricopa.
Okay.
I think the Bandit Signs kind of work. And if you drive out there, you'll still see them out there. There are people still doing them. And
Wow.
so
I see them now.
it's
I mean, the further away you get from the valley, the less technology is used.
I think maybe that's it. Yeah. Or the competition kind of dies down a little bit too.
Yeah.
I mean, you get in the heart of the city. I mean, everyone's out. Everyone's there.
So you're saying basically go to Globe in Florence.
Oh yeah, you
Miami.
My buddy Danny, he's an awesome man. He actually owns a call floor down in Mexico, but he's got a sixplex out in Florida. He just locked up.
Nice.
Great price, and we're gonna try to dispo for him.
Absolutely.
I think we'll be able
there's
to do it.
There's some inexpensive properties, especially on the outskirts.
That's the thing. Don't limit to yourself to just here. I mean, Casa Grande, we've disposed so many deals out there. I mean, you go out a little bit. I mean, you don't want to go way out in the boondocks because then it's gonna be hard to get those buyers. But yeah, you don't have to stick to your main. You don't have to stick to just Phoenix.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Right. Yeah, and so at an event we were talking, and so your main focus right now is in Phoenix, and you're expanding out into Tucson.
We're in Tucson. Yeah.
You're
nice.
in Tucson.
Oh yeah. I got 5 cold callers out there. We have RVM being dropped out there and tech. So we got all 3 of them marketing hammering out there. We got two deals on whiteboard that are closing right now. One's closing on Friday, one's closing next week, and then we got a bunch of other that so it's we're already seeing ROI just from that market.
Awesome. Yeah. What were some of the challenges that happened to expand to that?
So Tucson wasn't really too hard of a challenge. I used to live there for 5 years. So when a lead comes in, it's just about a matter of educating our acquisitions in what neighborhoods are the hood and what and which ones are the nicer parts of Tucson. I'd let them she's like, I got a lead in Oro Valley. I'm like, cool. Oro Valley is kind of like a Scottsdale of Tucson. Yeah. So it's knowing the area is really the tough part. We tried going to Vegas. Then there was a challenge. We tried to go to Vegas and we failed miserably.
Okay.
So,
because of that,
we don't know the market. We don't know the area. We're just kind of using the same numbers that we base our numbers off here. It just doesn't really work that way. And my good friend and then a lot of ours, Jared Vidalis, he crushes out there in Vegas, and he's like, man, I'm making this. Damn, I'm gonna try it. No, it didn't work for me.
Right.
But we're gonna try it again, and we're just gonna take a different approach at it.
Right.
We need to learn a little bit
more education.
Right. A little more due diligence out there. Maybe get some boots on the ground out there.
How long did it take you when you first decided to move to Tucson to get boots on the ground? How long did that take you?
It didn't take long because I'm from there, so I knew a lot of people out there. I got friends out there. I know realtor friends out there. So that part was easy. I mean, my mom and dad live out there, so I've already had my dad go to like 3 different properties and take pictures.
Family business.
Dad, you want $300?
Right.
Yeah, he's retired. I mean, he's like, hey, let's go take pictures over here. So it was pretty simple for Tucson, and if I really had to, I get my car and drive down.
Yeah, I know.
We're an hour and a half away.
Yep,
essentially.
So it's not like Vegas is gonna be a 5-hour drive. If I was doing it in LA, it's a 6-hour drive. So it was a good market for us to grow into next. Just because we knew about it. It's right next door, and it's working. So
good. Okay, awesome, good. Congratulations. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, right?
Yep.
Or pretty close to it. Or do you have more questions?
Well, I did actually have one. Have you looked into certain markets and found that it's not a feasible thing to do right now? Like you started expanding to Tucson, you've tested Vegas, you're looking to go and do Nevada again. Have you looked at other markets and what was pros and cons you've seen and maybe an idea of more expanding?
Not entirely. I'm learning how to now though.
Okay.
Right? I'm learning how to take the approach of doing my due diligence and finding out where the buyers are buying at by zip code, and then learning how to open up the networking options out in those markets. I would say there probably isn't really any market you can't wholesale in. It's just a matter of how educated you are in that market. And knowing what deals should be bought at, what pricing to be bought at, and where they can be sold at, because it's going to be completely different than what we do here. It's a whole different ballgame, and but it's a matter of educating yourself and getting to know some people out there, not just realtors, but other wholesalers too. Because in the beginning, your biggest problem might be is selling the deal. You might be able to get it under contract, but then you don't have a problem selling it. So I think if I were to start expanding into other markets again, in the beginning, I might follow Keegley maybe and see where they're at. So that way I have someone to lean on. Like,
Yeah,
okay, I can't
yeah.
sell this, okay, but I can still get something out of it by JVing with somebody.
Yeah,
Right? So, or finding a Keeley type, company or a big wholesaler out in that market who's doing a bunch of deals.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you make friends with them.
Yeah.
And they have the distribution channel, so it'll be easier
It's
to
like
just acquire and
here I got, and this is a great example of just from the mastermind. A guy named Joshua out in Texas. He sent us a deal out. He sent us it was out Wilcox. It's an 11-plex. And he's like, hey man, I got something to contract. There's no way I can move it. He's like, for one, it's a Wilcox, which if you listeners, this is like
40 minutes away from
Tucson.
Okay.
40 minutes. No, it's like probably 2.5, 3 hour drive from here. It's a little small podunk town, and he's got an 11-plex, and it was like $20K per door. And I was like, holy, it was, and it cash flowed like crazy. And I'm like, all right, we sold it for him. We sold it for him, and I think we made like 10. So, and that's the thing. But he knew that we were established here. He knows that we do deals here.
Yeah.
So he knew he could call me and say, hey man, you think you can get this done? It's like, well, I'll give him my best shot.
Yep.
So it's the same thing. If I'm gonna go in that market, I need to find people, doing deals.
Yeah, doing
people
deals. So
who are established.
Yeah.
And then if you have a good relationship with them, you can. And if you don't know certain areas, you can be like, hey man, I got area code 85014. Is that gonna be okay? How about this price? Does that look? You can start communicating and learning from them.
Yeah.
And they're gonna educate you about their market.
Cool. Okay, that's good.
So what I've taken away is networking, obviously.
That's huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Collaborating with said network.
Yeah.
And then
and
masterminds mentors.
mentoring.
Mentoring.
Yeah.
Mentoring. Yeah.
And take action. So I'm gonna tell you, it's the 80-20 rule. It's 20% of the people make all the money. It's the 80-20 rule. You got to take action. Most people who go to events and seminars, they hear all this information, they don't do anything with it. And they go, oh, tomorrow, or when they want to get their ducks in a row or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to get my LLC set up. No. Go out there and start just banging doors and start making phone calls. Put bandit signs. Just take massive action. And then, because no matter what, you're gonna mess up. Just go out and fail. And fail forward and learn from your mistakes, and then pick yourself back up. So, okay, this is how. Okay, I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah.
And push and take massive action.
Yes.
You got to look at a failure as a learning opportunity and not a failure. It's
Yeah, there
you
you
got to
go.
fail so many times to succeed.
If you fail and you let it beat you down and you don't come back, then it's a failure. But if you learn from it and correct it next time, then it was a success.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
So take every failure as a success, man.
Yeah, exactly. Take every failure as a success. Exactly.
Because if you learn something from it.
Where can we find you, social media wise, websites, all that?
Social media, look me up, Corey Geary. Corey Geary, I got a pretty good following on there on Facebook. I've just now started dabbling in Instagram. Like, I'm like the older guy, I guess. Everyone's like, Instagram's a new wave. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to go that way. I'm
It's so
huge
hard
on
to
Facebook.
keep up with all of them, isn't it?
It is. I'm like, I'm on Facebook doing all my posts and, putting a bunch of, information on there, right? But to do that on 2 platforms now, I don't know.
Right.
But everyone's saying Instagram's the new way, so I need to
way.
start pushing that way.
New way is TikTok. So right
I
after
like
this
TikTok.
we're gonna start doing a dance video, and then we're gonna do the robot and shuffle, and there we
With
go.
the weird, crazy stuff that they got so many different effects they have in there. It's insane. So social media, Corey Geary. I handed out my cell phone last time I was on a podcast and my phone just bled. Message me on Messenger. So that would probably be best. Is just message me on Messenger. I will get back to you. I check Facebook Messenger all the time. And then if you want to set up even I don't mind doing small little coaching. I don't charge anything for it. If you just want some advice how to get started, how to get some systems going, and what lists you want to pull or whatever. There's so many different questions when you're in the beginning. When you're new, reach out to me and we'll schedule something like a 15-minute something on a Saturday or Sunday. I mean, I don't mind. I'll give them back. I feel like the more you give, the more you're gonna get. It's just the abundance mentality. So. Facebook's the best way to reach me. I mean, and I'll give you my email too. I don't mind that at all. It's cgproperties@trurealty.com. There's no E in True. So cgproperties@truerealty.com.
Okay.
Nice.
And we'll post
All
it
right.
on
And so
there,
then, I have one last question
Go
before we actually. Okay, so, what is it that you're actually best at, and when did the light click that you knew?
Talking with people.
talking with people.
Yeah, I love talking with people, and
we could tell.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, you weren't a systems guy.
I was not a systems guy.
Want to deal with that.
Yeah, and when I finally did, and it helped me in my acquisitions when I was the guy doing acquisitions, because when I learned how to actually follow the sales process, I got pretty good at it. And just going to network events and talking and just socializing. I mean, I love it. And that probably came a little bit being a blackjack dealer. I was a blackjack dealer for 17 years.
Yeah.
So just being on the table, dealing cards, you make tips. So the more you talk and hustle,
right,
the more tips you can put in your box. And so you learn that skill over the time of just, I think bartenders probably have the same ability.
Right.
So it's but yeah, just talking and networking and pushing. I mean, I did not mind waking up at 5 a.m. and grinding all day and pushing to make the dream come true.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's where you're at, man.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else? We're good?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right.
Guys, thanks for having me.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you for coming in.
And
thanks for the time, buddy.
Gems, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. All right, guys. Mahalo.